Welcome back. We're preparing to launch. You understand your key KPIs, your media plan, the core metrics that you need to understand, and the levers to pull to most dramatically improve performance. What is your action plan now? The media plan that you delivered is going to help you set up your campaigns. So you have your media plan, it's that spreadsheet, it's that general guide. That's what's going to show you which campaigns to go and create. It's almost like a study guide or a template. It's your blueprint. It's your overarching architecture that's going to keep you honest. You're going to launch small and then learn. And this is true whether you're launching from scratch or you're optimizing a campaign that's spending a ton. Noticed we said small, not cheap or low budget. Small refers to incremental optimization steps. Not only is it the right way to do it, not only is it the right way to train the algorithm, it's the best way for you to learn what edits, tweaks, tests, and optimizations are actually impacting the bottom line. Number 3, let your data make the decisions. You have your own emotions, you have pressure, you have your boss, and you have all the mistakes that you make based on your own intuitions. But now that you have a media plan, now that you understand your KPIs, you're going to allow the data to speak. So if Meta isn't working, but if it's not working after the right amount of time, you're going to understand that you could decrease budget there, change different campaigns, relaunch new messaging, whatever it may be. But you're going to always commit to letting data make decisions. And number 4, you're going to be able to scale with confidence. The media plan is going to show you where you're overachieving. And if your actual results are beating the benchmarks that you've inputted into your media plan, that's your permission to scale. It's your permission to continue to increase budgets, to increase your bids, to get a little bit more aggressive. We're not going to scale recklessly. We're not going to give Google and Meta more of our dollars recklessly. We're going to scale when we have the data validating that decision. Finally, how do we tie this all together? You guessed it, another custom GPT. This is my favorite one. This is the custom GPT that takes the entire strategic brain at Adventure Media, my agency, and at the Modern Marketing Institute, and has all of that information, all of that strategy from marketing analytics to media plan development to empathy and understanding your audience. And it's going to allow you and help you actually build out a go-to-market strategy and a launch plan. So let me just very quickly show you this ChatGPT, but you're going to have a ton of fun using it, learning from it, and actually developing practical roadmaps to digital marketing success. So here we are in the Strategic Advertising Assistant, and simple enough, just tell the GPT about your business. There's a couple or 2 or 3 templates that you could follow. I have a Shopify store in CPG, 50% repeat rate, etc. But I'm going to come up with an example. I run a clothing company called Good Morning, I Love You. We sell hoodies, t-shirts, mugs, and live events focused on positive emotion, love as a rival, not as departure. Our clothing sells from $10 to $179 with 40% margins. We currently do $2,500 a month in advertising, in revenue on a $1,500 budget, and we want to scale to $50K a month in revenue, preserving the same margin. Can you help me build a strategic GTM plan. And you'll see that the GPT is trained not on a hallucinatory large language model. It's trained on a series of documents, slide decks, templates, case studies, and actual campaign data from the Adventure Media agency. So it's a really cool GPT. So in this case, it built out a business snapshot, understanding our goal, outlining the stage of the business we're in, product and offer strategy, immediate actions that will help us increase AOV, that will help us increase conversion rate. It's giving us a suggested media plan mix, and it's going to even break out a campaign structure and a creative strategy, retention rate, and budget and scaling math. So this is a really well-oiled custom GPT that's going to work predictably, and it's going to be based on all of the information that you have. But just like with everything else, and especially with leaning too much on ChatGPT, you want to make sure that you understand and you memorize those key formulas that we covered in the very beginning, from break-even CPA, break-even return on ad spend, understanding your conversion rate, your industry benchmark conversion rates, your core goals, right? Like, what is your goal, whether it's volume of units, it's ROAS, or it's a certain revenue. And having all of those key foundational components in mind, so you know what you're doing, and you could direct and prompt this custom GPT with a greater degree of intelligence. So have fun with it. This is, I think, one of the most valuable components of this entire masterclass, this custom GPT, the strategic advertising assistant, because what so many marketers fail to do is they fail to understand strategy. They fail to understand all of the peripheral, interesting, complex, rich business optimizations that they can make, because they get too obsessed with CPC, they get too obsessed with their conversion rate, they get too obsessed with Google search, they get too obsessed with this one meta campaign, or they spend 3 months creating a simple video, and they're just trying to buy more traffic, and they're complaining, and it's like, it's too expensive. But strategy is like this holistic understanding of, who are my people? Am I approaching my messaging with empathy? Do I understand the customer experience? Do I actually have a media plan in place? Do I have a real hypothesis? Do I have an actual target and a goal? And when you have this, and you could talk strategically, and you could discuss business growth strategy with your client, with your colleagues, with your boss, even if you could just think about it in your own head, you access and you tap into enormous layers of opportunity, where Google, Meta, TikTok, Amazon, Reddit, LinkedIn, Twitter, they're all nodes and components of that plan. They're all going to be important access points and tools at your disposal. But ultimately, the strategy for growth, everything that we've just covered in the last hour and a half, 2 hours, is really where you're going to pick up the most momentum and differentiate yourself in the most qualitative way, by being able to recognize where specifically in your business, whether it's acquisition, it's your website, it's your product development, it's your merchandising, it's your customer experience, it's your messaging, it's your long-term LTV strategy, whatever it may be, like whatever area in the business, that this strategic ability to think is going to be how you're going to access and understand where to put your effort and your energy to achieve, going back to square one, the most bang for your buck, the most profitable campaigns, widening the margin. Like we said, the only measure of good advertising is if you're generating more money from the ads than these ads cost. And that's where having a strategic sense of your business is so fundamentally important. In the next module, we're going to start talking about Google Ads in the modern age, the most luxurious, successful, profitable advertising platform on planet Earth. I'm sure you're using it. Most of you are using it. If you're not, you ought to be using it. Universally, ubiquitously, comprehensively, unanimously, the most likely advertising platform to generate a profit for you in most cases. And I look forward to diving into it with you in the next module.